Uh, Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. Today you're going to look at business studies, that is Form 1 business studies, and we're going to look at the introduction to business studies, and our main subtopic of discussion today is the meaning of business studies. Meaning of business studies. So before we get to the details of meaning of business studies, we have our specific objectives for the day. So therefore, by the end of the lesson, the learner should be able to define the term business studies. Number 2, state and explain the disciplines of business studies. Number 3, explain the importance of business studies in the society. For us to understand the meaning of business studies, or our topic today, that is Introduction to Business Studies, we need first to understand the meaning of the term business. What does the term business refer to? Now, business is or refers to an activity of buying and selling goods with an aim of making profit. Any activity that involves buying and selling of goods with an aim of making profit, or rather a financial gain. So therefore, in this case, you're saying there is offer for commodities or even services, or exchange of commodities or products or services for money. And the main purpose here is to make profit, or to make a financial gain. So one thing that is standing out here is that for one to make profit, or for one to realize this financial gain, you be required to sell your commodities or your goods or services at a price higher than the price you bought, or at a higher price than the buying price of the same commodities. Therefore, if business involves, or it's exchange of goods or services for money, or with money in order to make a financial gain, therefore we can say that business studies is now the subject that is going to equip an individual with the right knowledge, skills, and positive attitudes to enable them to succeed in business, or the process of acquiring the right skills and knowledge and positive attitude to run a successful business. That process of acquiring that subject that is going to equip an individual with the right skills, knowledge, and the positive attitude in order to succeed in a business is what we are referring to as business studies. Now, under business studies, there are terms that are commonly used, or terms that you're going to come across, and I would like us to define them, or to look at them. We have around 5 terms that are commonly used as far as this subject is concerned. One is goods. Goods. These are tangible items. When you talk of a tangible item, it's an item that you can be able to see, touch, or even feel. That is of, for example, books, pens, phone, table, chair. All those are examples of goods or items that can be touched, that can be seen, that can be felt. In other words, tangible items. Another term that is commonly used in business studies is services. Services. I can say that these are actions or activities that can be sold. In other words, you can say that they are intangible. What does the word intangible here mean? Intangible means that services cannot be touched, nor can they be seen. So under services, unlike in goods whereby you're saying that goods can be seen or touched or felt, under services, what we see is the service provider, but not the service itself. For instance, teaching service. You can't be able to see the service itself, but you can see the service provider, who in this case is the teacher. Banking services, we can't be able to see or even touch the service itself, but we see the service provider. Shoe shining, you only see the shoe shiner. So under services, we only feel the effect of the service, but not seeing nor touching the service. That's why we are saying that services are intangible. The next term is production. Production is the creation of goods and services. In other words, conversion of raw materials into finished products. Yeah, and this can also be referred to as the process of increasing the utility of goods and services, or in other words, increasing the usefulness of goods and services. Increasing the usefulness of goods and services. The other term that is commonly used is distribution. Distribution. Now, distribution involves now moving goods and services from the point of production to the point of consumption, or in other words, movement of goods and services from producers to the users or to the consumers. And lastly, we have consumption. Now, consumption can be defined as the final use of goods and services by the consumers. Why? Because you're saying that people who use goods and services are known as the consumers. The final user of goods and services are the consumers. Our next area of concentration is the disciplines of business studies, or in other words, the subjects of business studies or areas of study as far as business studies as a subject is concerned. We have around 5 areas of study or 5 disciplines. One is commerce. Now, commerce deals with how goods are distributed from the producers to the consumers. Or in other words, it involves how goods will be distributed from where they are produced to where they are required. Number 2, we have economics. Economics is the study of how human beings strive to satisfy their endless wants using available scarce resources. Later on, we are going to find out that human beings have got so many wants. Human wants are endless. They are very many. And to satisfy these wants, we require resources. We require economic resources. And economic resources are scarce in nature. Their supply is limited. So for human beings to satisfy these wants, we need to take into consideration the supply of these economic resources required to satisfy them. Therefore, the study of how human beings strive to satisfy their endless wants using the available scarce resources is what we are referring to as economics. Number 3 is accounting. And accounting is a systematic way of recording business activities for decision-making purposes. Yeah, a systematic way of recording business activities. Yeah, we need to have a daily occurrence of business activities. And we are going to learn more on accounting. That is, we are going to prepare financial statements for proper decision making, for us to be able to determine the financial position of our business, for us to be able to make a wise decision concerning the start of our business. We need to prepare financial statements like trading profit and loss account, the balance sheet, among others. And therefore, to achieve this, we will go through all that under the category of accounting. Number 4 is office practice, whereby this is going to deal with all activities that are carried out in the office. For instance, filing of documents, reproduction of documents, storage of information, clerical work, among others, safeguarding organization information. All that is under office practice. And in every business, there is a central office. There is a central place that deals with all the operations of the business. And this is what we are referring to as the office practice. Lastly, we have entrepreneurship, our last discipline, which involves the study of activities involving the identification of a business opportunity and acquiring the necessary resources to start and run a business. Yeah, how do we identify a viable business opportunity? How do we gather the required resources to run this business and be successful? All that will be studied under entrepreneurship. And we're going to see that the person who carries out or who undertakes entrepreneurship process is known as an entrepreneur. On our last objective, we are going to look at the importance of business studies in the society. Yeah, how does an individual, how does society benefit by learning business studies? One is able to start and operate business profitably. Yeah. You'll be equipped with knowledge to identify a viable opportunity, start and operate a business profitably. Number 2, make wise business decisions. Yeah, as far as success of the business is concerned. Number 3 is to keep proper records of the business activities. Record keeping, that you're going to look at it under accounting. We also have number 4, to be able to attract customers, retain them, and sell goods and services. Yeah, for a business to be successful, you need to attract more customers, retain them, and sell goods. You need to have a good rapport with your customers. You need to meet customers' needs and wants for you to be able to retain them. Next is be able to manage business finances better and use business money wisely. And lastly, be able to calculate and determine the profit or loss made by the business. Thank you guys for listening. See you in my next video. Bye bye.